Hello my friends, Carmentary here, Neil with you. I'm gonna do a little talk about Japanese snowboards, specifically a couple of brands. We have Genten Stick, based out of Niseko. We have Field Earth, based out of Asahikawa in central Hokkaido. And these have been the two main brands that I think everyone looks to when they come to Japan and they want to look at, Japanese snowboarding design, snow surfing, style boards, etc. You also have brands like Moss and a couple other, smaller, minor Japanese brands that are definitely, have their style doing their thing. But I think those are the three majors: Genten, Field Earth, Moss. So I just went to and did some shopping at the Sapporo Solomon store. It's called Salomon Experience Base. They have a very beautiful store, kind of in a little, high-end kind of suburb of Sapporo City. Great store. I go over there and buy wear and items. Bought some stuff for the kids. Bought a jacket for myself. They have a nice little sale going on with stuff from last year, by the way, so you might want to head over there and grab something if you're in the neighborhood. But today's talk is about a new, maybe it's not really new, but an interesting twist. A little twist in the snow surfing board design development that I think Japan is, I think you could say, is pioneering, or is in a way kind of leading the way with these snowboard brands that are local based, in Japan, and yet they're having a real strong influence on snow surfing and the snow surfing board design and the style, etc. The new player in town, it turns out, is actually Salomon. So why is this? And it's kind of, I had a nice conversation with the manager of the store, Hiro. He's a longtime pro snowboarder in Japan. He's involved in the board design. He's good friends with Nakai. So Nakai Takaharu, Olympian, one of Sapporo's most famous snowboarders, Salt Lake City Olympics, half pipe, 5th place, I think, was his highest competitive placement. There was a big uproar over that at the time. A lot of people think he should have gotten better, at least gotten 3rd place, maybe a medal. Anyway, he's a longtime legendary freestyle rider based in Sapporo, and he has been riding for Salomon for a long time. So he and Hiro are deeply involved in the design of a series called the Hillside Project, which is spearheaded by Nible, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, who is a real long-time Salomon rider and is now, I guess, is he the team manager as well? I'm not sure what his exact position is, but super influential. He is one of these guys who is just an incredible snowboarder all around. He also has his own bindingless boards that he's made for many years. Again, a true pioneer in the snow surfing category of snowboarding. So you have kind of a lineage going on there in the Salomon brand with Vole, and then Nakai and Hiro, and then some other young riders here in Japan, and they're all kind of based in Sapporo. So we have this geological or geographical thing going on with Genten being in Niseko, very strong in Niseko. Field Earth being designed in Asahikawa, and you see a lot of people riding Field Earth boards in the Asahikawa, Asahidake area. And now we have Salomon in Sapporo. And I must admit, at the local resorts here in Sapporo, the last year or two especially, we've started to see more and more Salomon boards, specifically the Hillside line. And I've been keeping my eye on it. And I like those guys. Nakai, I'm a huge fan. I've known him since he was 12 years old. Incredible athlete, incredible freestyler, and he has become an incredible all-around free rider. I'm not gonna say he's like I wouldn't classify him as a classic snow surfer, but he has an insane mastery of like a snow surfing style of riding, along with all the freestyle maneuvers that guys of his generation have. Tricks, airs, 720s, whatever, backflips. Like, he does all that stuff, and he combines it with incredibly silky smooth turns with genuine snow surfing flow and technique and board control. So I've been watching him. I get to shoot with him every now and then. It's not constant, but you know, at least once or twice a year I'm on the mountain with him, and I get to see him ride right in front of me or through the camera lens. I watch all his Instagram videos and stuff like that, and he, along with Hiro and those guys, are like, they're the shit. So I'm always impressed. And last winter I helped do a little translation for a new video produced by David Vladka, longtime filmmaker, legend. He's doing a lot of the snowboard movies for Salomon, I guess, and he was over here filming, and I helped translate an interview with Nakai. And in that interview, you know, I asked questions and heard answers, and I really got an idea of what he and the team there are trying to do with the board design and what they've come out with this year. And I finally got to see that board today. I believe they have like two new lengths. There's a 169 and a 164. And they'd never put out anything that long before. So now we've got sort of a return to like a longer board design. Still kind of keeping what, if you just, boom, you just take a quick look at it, it pretty much looks like a, you know, a freestyle snowboard. What, you know, a general, like if you're gonna ask someone to draw a picture of a snowboard, it's that kind of a shape. It's not a swallowtail, it's not super tapered, it's not got this crazy wide nose or whatever. It's not pointy, it's like, it's pretty general snowboard design, but it is packed with all kinds of little features. I don't know everything, and I'm not gonna try to say it, but there's a bamboo top sheet, which is very cool looking, has a Japanese kind of feel to it. There's some kind of like wood and cork in the core. Cork, light and soft. Black sole, beautiful sole. P-Tex, looks really nice. And then there's some kind of fancy, it's like a, I was like, what is it, like a flat camber, but then there's like parts of the board that are thinner, right in front of the back foot and right behind the front foot. There's like two sections of the board where the construction is a little thin. You can kind of feel it when you run your finger over it. And apparently that allows the board to really get this sort of flex, like this kind of a flex going on, rather than being this sort of stiff board. When you're in powder snow and you push down on it, the nose and the tail are going to kind of flex up at those points where the board is a little thinner. So that's all kind of stuff that I saw when I, you know, saw the board, and I talked to Hiro and he was telling me some details about it. I think we're going to see something really interesting happen here. Salomon is obviously a French board company, now owned by some massive group, probably. I don't know all the details. It's not a Japanese snowboard, but there's heavy and deep involvement by a very strong crew of Japanese riders, with Nakai and Hiro and those guys, working together with Vole, and they're creating a board for their generation, you know, mid to late 30s now, I guess, all those guys. And it's they're still wanting to have that freestyle maneuverability, be able to do airs and jumps, but yet have a board that is just effortless in deep powder, natural terrain, pillows, all that kind of stuff, and yet super reactive and easy to ride on course, on piste, and in the park. That's always like the golden ticket. That's what everyone, all the snowboard mags, I remember when they did their reviews, they were like, this is the ultimate all mountain board. If you're gonna have one board in your quiver, this is the one. It's like, I think up until now, that statement, in general, 99.9% of the time is total fucking bullshit. Like, especially in like a sort of generic freestyle board brand, when they're claiming like this is your go-to board for the park and the powder and the groomers and everything. It's like no. There's no way. Maybe in the park, maybe on the course, sure, but that is not a snow surfing style powder board. Like, I've never seen one or felt one that said that I agreed with until now. I kind of have a feeling that this hillside series, especially the 169, 164 also I'm sure great, but for someone like me, a little larger feet, larger body size, carries a backpack, etc., you're gonna want to go with that 169, and that just, it flexes, it feels, and it's about $1,300. So the price tag is not cheap. It's a little pricey, but I kind of think that's also important. If that board was like under $1,000, or it just, they obviously wouldn't be able to put the same technologies into it. And pricing is important. It affects how you feel about things and how you look at things, and it puts it right in that zone with field earth boards and Genten boards. They're all generally now somewhere between $1,000 and like $1,600 and up. The prices this year, due to the weak yen, and a lot of these boards being made at factories in China or other countries, and then they have to import them into Japan with taxes and all the fees, and the yen being so weak, wow, prices are going up. So basically, I would just like to recommend everybody, especially people who are really into Japanese snowboards, Japanese snowboard design, Genten, all these cool boards. It would be interesting to have a look at Salomon and the Hillside project. Just sort of put it on your radar and check it out, because I would be very happy to have that in my quiver. I have all kinds of Genten boards. I've got Cloudliner and Big Fish and Chaser and Manta Ray, Chopstick. I've got Field Earth X1. I got all kinds of boards. And I could see a lot of people like me who are in their 40s, 50s, who have a nice collection of boards, but still kind of have that love, or that, I grew up looking at people like Terrier and people who rode those boards that you would ride in a half pipe or in the park, like the Burton Custom, those kind of boards. Like, I like that shape. I still like that shape. I still want to ride that shape. I think it's cool. But there hasn't been a board of that kind of shape that I would want to ride for like 5 or 10 years at least. So all my purchasing power has gone into Genten and Field Earth boards. But yeah, I really was like going, wow, this board, I've seen these guys ride it, and I know what it looks like when they ride it. So if I could come anywhere close to that, I think it would be amazing. And it would be that one board that you could always have in your car and go, Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to be like up there. It looks like the groomers might be hard, but there might be some powder on the sides. It might be a little choppy. Well, shit, let's just take the hillside out, and I know that'll be good for a run or two. And then come back to the car and change it up if it's different. If there's something more specific. Because I think that's the thing with Genten and Field Earth boards in general. Field Earth boards, there's some pretty amazing almighty boards for sure. But a lot of these boards are really specific for a certain condition, a certain snow type, a certain type of terrain, and it's fun to ride them in that way. So there you have it. There's another board on my radar that I would really like to get and throw into the back of the van. Gently. I won't throw it in. That was a euphemism. I will just gently lay my precious board in my van. All right, everybody. That was probably a little more info than you needed. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back again soon. Carmen Terry, over and out. Drive safe.